So could shops actually get back money now that we know that these regulations are going to be pushed back? There's all different kinds of changes going on legislatively with the Clean Air Act, including one congressman looking to completely repeal it, which would end all of this. But what I want to ask you today is, do you feel like these shops that have been fined, tens of thousands or millions of dollars should be refunded by the EPA? And where the EPA was just able to claw back billions upon billions of dollars in what they are calling waste, fraud, and abuse, should that go back to the shops that were fined for deleting diesel emissions? I think so. So welcome on back to TK's Garage. So basically, I did a couple of different things. You guys saw I got a video in yesterday from the EPA. I put it into one of the videos where, they then uploaded that later in the day to their YouTube channel, talking about the complete rollback of emissions. We've seen the liberal commentators, I guess, say like the sky's falling now, the world's going to end because we've rolled back emissions to the 1960s. Okay. I always think it's so funny how, and it's not just one side, but both sides always go to like the massive extreme, right? It's like, this is going to happen if this doesn't happen. But what's crazy is usually on this side, that's fighting against this, rollback of emissions, it's always extreme. And it's no different here. So I went ahead and I hit my point of contact up there again, just to say, hey, is the EPA looking at making shops that were targeted by the previous administration and administrations before that whole, in terms of, we know that you just got all these billions and billions of dollars back, right? Are you going to give that money or some of that money back to individual shops or like mom and pop shops? And it's a conversation I've been having with 3 different people over there at the EPA for the last 2 weeks, and finally got a decent response that said, yeah, they're looking at it. If they're looking at if an unconstitutional fine went against an individual, for example, I've talked about Double R Diesel before. He's got a YouTube channel. He's out there from where I used to live out in North Carolina. And he published his whole story on everything that he had to go through and how much money it ended up costing him because he was, deleting diesel trucks. I think shops like that, the diesel bros, right? There's just so many individual shops. Now, I know people are going to be like, well, what about, Caterpillar, or what about this, or what about that? I don't know if the corporations, the companies that have been charged billions of dollars by the EPA are going to get that money back. I don't know if they'd sue for it. I have no idea. But I think in terms of the individual person, the person that has just a very small shop and they're doing their own thing, yeah, I feel like the EPA should make those people whole. I feel like that is the right thing to do. Is that going to happen? It remains to be seen. I did ask for another face-to-face interview, like we could use StreamYard, to talk about some of those specific issues, to get into it, and some of the things that I think matter when it comes to, diesel trucks. With them rolling back these emissions to the point where there's no need for these systems to be on trucks now. So if you're going to let manufacturers build trucks that have no DEF, right? No crazy EGR system, no EGR cooler, none of that crap on these diesel trucks, then, you de facto basically make it okay for older trucks, right? I mean, it's common sense. I feel like this should immediately be addressed and just discussed and say, hey, look, these deletes, because trucks are coming out now and they don't have it, you don't need to have it on your truck. If you don't want it and you want to pay to have it removed, remove it. And at the same time, they should make the people whole, or those shops whole, that had to deal and pay the thousands or millions of dollars. Now, we did talk about this already, I believe yesterday, that there were some pending cases, and people keep responding with that in my comments like, well, they're still going after people. No, these indictments that you're seeing, right, whether or not they're just coming out in the press or not, were initiated. These grand jury proceedings before the indictment were initiated during the Biden administration. The current DOJ, if you look at the minutes or look at the record for the court, for the docket, filed for a continuance because they're looking at dismissing those cases. So I'm not and I don't know about all of them because somebody sent me like 12 or whatever that they're pending or whatever. I just know about the main ones that I've seen in the media the last month. But I digress. Do you guys think the same thing that I do? Because I like what the representative I spoke to at EPA said in terms of, yeah, we're looking at it. They've clawed back billions of dollars. I think they should follow through on that and definitely make every single one of these individual shop owners that have had to just spend so much money on defense of their case, paying the fines, all this other crap for basically an unconstitutional action. That is the other thing that the administrator from the EPA has said, that a lot of the movements, a lot of the actions of the EPA in the last 18 to 24 months were unconstitutional. I mean, the Supreme Court's already ruled on that with the, changing the Chevron doctrine. You have other pending cases that might be decided. I'm hoping in the next week or two that would further, under the Interstate Commerce Clause, just destroy California in terms of their California Air Resource Board. That would just be gone. With new legislation video that I already posted here today, talking about with Mike Lee and a representative from Texas, basically pulling the 100 waivers from California. So we're there. We are right on the precipice of being able to have common friggin' sense again. And that makes my day. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends. Whoopee!